when an emergency broadcast was suddenly aired by the TV station. A rabies-like virus had appeared in various cities, causing infected people to lose consciousness and turn into zombies within seconds. Everyone was rushing to buy food in large quantities. That evening, Will's sister called him on a video call and shared alarming news. The mysterious virus that had appeared some time ago was no longer under military control. She had received internal information that the virus had completely spiraled out of control. Infected people would go mad and attack others within seconds. Will quickly rushed home to hide and wait for further notice. On his way home, Will got on the highway but found the entire road jammed. He had no choice but to walk home. When he finally arrived, he found the community under martial law. Isolation pipes were set up next door, and neighbors were screaming while being muzzled. Will's sister called again with worse news. The army had established a safe zone to centralize all survivors, meaning the city had essentially fallen. She warned Will not to go to the safe zone because the virus spread through person-to-person contact and immediately began stocking up on supplies. He rushed back to the supermarket, but the shelves had been looted, and an infected person forced the policeman to bite his own vein. Will picked up a stick but hesitated to intervene. The police managed to shoot and kill the infected in time, but within minutes, the policeman behind the glass mutated. Will tried to get close to help but was blocked and told to leave quickly. Will returned home and sealed all doors and windows, reinforcing the house following an archery blogger's method. The military sent a bus to evacuate residents to the safe zone. Time passed, and after 2 weeks of the virus raging, the city became a ghost town. Will had been hiding at home for half a month, never receiving rescue news from his sister. Will wore his pajamas, covered the walls, and ventured out to find food. Fortunately, since the army had evacuated everyone, the community had no infected people. Will broke into houses searching for food, but found nothing. One afternoon, he found an old lady abandoned by her family due to her disabled legs. Though her supplies were gone, she knew who had the most stockpiled materials. With her help, Will finally found some food and a motorcycle, greatly improving his search efficiency, the most infected area. Unfortunately, there was still no food. Will, feeling desperate, looked at a fish tank and wondered if the dead fish inside could be eaten. Suddenly, a false alarm occurred. A survivor appeared. Seeing Will armed, the survivor left the house to him. That night, Will and the old lady enjoyed a rare full meal. Later, the old lady contacted Will via walkie-talkie with instructions to turn on the radio. A repeated message played, but then she fell silent. Worried, Will promised to come for her. The next day, Will prepared to leave but couldn't contact the old lady. When he arrived, he found she had committed suicide by poisoning, not wanting to involve him. As Will left in despair, an infected person appeared, threw him to the ground, and bit his arm. Fortunately, Will's diving suit was tough enough. He fought back, hitting the infected with a glass and shooting him. Will then rode his motorcycle to the mouth of the Arosa River, but the noise attracted many infected. The closer he got, the more infected appeared. At the location, another person was there, but all survivors in the camp had turned infected. Will avoided them and fled, but suddenly fell after hitting a pile of corpses. Injured and without motorcycle ignition, he abandoned the bike and ran for his life. After searching, Will found a usable raft and continued downstream. At night, the raft's propeller broke. 3 armed Middle Eastern men took him aboard to Horan. Boss Chen greeted him, accompanied by a mustachioed translator. Chen cared more about Will's profession than his knowledge of safe zones. The translator whispered that in the apocalypse, only useful people like engineers and pilots survived. Will was given a comfortable room, but soon saw survivors calling for help who then disappeared. Crew members rummaged through their belongings, and the translator denied meeting survivors, making Will realize this place was not safe. With the translator's help, Will escaped through a side door. The remaining survivor was shot by the crew, and the translator was wounded, but they managed to flee. They reached a hospital but found the helicopter missing. Will took the translator to the operating room to remove the bullet. While searching for medicine, Will was noticed by infected. He fought them off but attracted more and had to run. Returning, he found the translator missing but managed to get inside through a small window. The nurse led surgery on the translator while Will looked around the children's department. After the operation, the nurse explained that the helicopter was moved to a square behind the hospital, now surrounded by infected. The next day, Will climbed to the roof and noticed gangsters had found the hospital downstairs. He warned everyone. Despite most gangsters searching for supplies, the group decided to escape across the square. After resting, the translator improved. Led by the nurse, Will, the translator, and others rushed to the hospital's back door. Gunshots were heard, but no immediate danger. Suddenly, an infected burst out and attacked the nurse, who was bitten. Knowing she would die, she stopped others from helping and protected 3 children before leaving. The group faced a passage blocked by infected in a warehouse. They had to move silently. The children passed safely, but when Will and another child screamed, infected were attracted. Will hid in a cabinet with the girl. Will saw gangsters clearing infected and saving lives. They reached the back door but faced a 100-meter stretch full of infected. Will remembered a video and pushed a gate around the fence toward the helicopter, which worked. The infected surged but were held back by the fence and the group's resistance. Suddenly, gangsters arrived, tearing through with submachine guns and ordering the translator to stop the helicopter. The infected overwhelmed the gangsters, allowing the translator to start the helicopter. They threw down the ladder, and Will woke up on the way to the Canary Islands, finally back in cell phone range.